So today's movie day. Today we're talking about the movie 1985, and it is Boys on Film. Welcome back to the web series.
Hey Phil.
How are you?
I'm good. Yeah, just getting over a little nasty cold.
Yeah, me
but,
too.
You know, it's got to get out and about.
Ready to go.
Out of the system before the holidays.
Yeah, cleanse.
Before all
Herbal teas.
Exactly. Before all the Christmas holidays and social event madness starts.
Get it all over again.
Christmas parties, yeah.
Yeah,
and then
hangovers.
And then in January, I'd be like, I hate my life. It's time to get back on track. So.
Yeah. New beginnings.
Exactly.
So 1985 is a movie directed by Yen Tan. Black and white movie, which was a bit odd. I don't quite know why it was black and white.
Yeah, when I think of the year 1985, I don't necessarily think of it as a very black and white time.
Yeah.
You had Cyndi Lauper, you had Madonna.
Black and white films make you think of more imagery in your head rather than be presented with something that's colourful.
Yeah, I thought it was a bold creative risk, actually. I did question that when I was watching it. I'm like, does it really need to be in black and white? But I don't know. It was fine.
I mean, it's quite a dark story. Well, potentially, I mean, the premise of the movie is quite dark because it's a guy who is closeted, goes back to his family. His dad is quite... I was going to say a nasty person, but I guess he's just really religious, isn't he? And he's quite forthright with his views.
He's very small town Texas in 1985.
Yeah.
I'm a small town Oregon boy. I'm sure it wasn't much different in small town Texas. So.
Right. Well, it's about Adrian, who's played by Cory Michael Smith. Do you know him? Because I know
I
he's
do.
been,
Yes, of course I do.
Because of the movie that he was in, the really big superhero movie.
No.
Was it a TV series?
TV series. He plays the Riddler in Gotham.
Of course, Gotham.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's quite a tough role, isn't it, this one?
Yeah, it's actually nice to see him as a bit more human instead of a bit kind of slightly psychotic in the Gotham TV series, which I do watch on and off. I'm not a massive fan of it, but yeah, it was nice to him to take on a role and get to know him as an actor a little bit better. And you know, there's some real emotional scenes in there where you're just like, whoa, and I wasn't quite expecting that. So it was really nice just to see him grow as an actor a bit more.
See, I've not really seen him in anything before. I thought he was terrific in this. I thought he really pushed his acting ability to the limit.
Yeah.
And like you say, it's an emotional role because he really has to show on screen that he's visibly upset and going through the ringer, being put through the ringer. His mother actually surprised me three-quarters of the way into the movie, where she kind of admits politically you wouldn't think she makes this confession to him.
Yeah, I love that scene.
And that was really unexpected because I thought she was very much like the father.
Yeah.
Very kind of bigoted and kind of backward almost.
Yeah.
And not really open-minded.
Yeah. I did love the mother character. However, the relationship I really loved was between him and his brother. Like, that kind of hit home for me.
His younger brother.
Yeah, like, you know, they have conversations about what they're listening to, and he's like, oh yeah, you're listening to Madonna? You're into Madonna? He's like, but yeah, I had a Bryan Adams poster on the wall, and Dad ripped it down, and then for Christmas they give him some Christian rock cassette tapes. I'm like, oh God, it feels just like home. Yeah. You know?
Because his younger brother, he says he's listening to too much Top 40, well, the older brother, obviously, played by Adrian, the character Adrian, and he basically buys his family all these expensive gifts.
Yeah.
There's quite a sad reason to that, and we can't really say too much because I think it would spoil the film, but yeah, it's quite poignant.
Yeah, I was wondering if it was going to actually go down that road a little bit, but then towards the get into the story, it's very much Ronald Reagan years and, you know, and the headlines that were going on around there, and so I was just like, well, is it a story about that? And we're not going to tell you what it is, but it is a story about that.
Yeah. Because obviously he is closeted, and you think as far as we've kind of progressed with the whole LGBT community and the politics of that, you might think, oh, because obviously it's set back in 1985, things were quite different back then, and a lot of people did struggle with coming out. Yeah. So it really does touch on that, and it kind of brings it home to you. I think it makes you realise how difficult it was back then, and still, you know, today it's difficult for a lot of people too.
Yeah. Definitely.
So it's quite a thought-provoking movie, story-wise. Did you like the friend that was played by Jamie Chung?
Was her Carly? Yeah, I liked her. I liked her humor. I laughed at her stand-up routine. I thought that was quite funny.
Because she comes on to him in a nightclub And
cringe.
she does show her dark side. She shows that she's quite a selfish person. But then I guess there's reason for that, because she thinks that he's straight, and obviously he's not. So
I kind of really related to that relationship too, because when you're of that age and you have, you know, friends that are girls and they attach feelings to you, and you know, eventually you have to come out to them, and it was quite devastating. For me, my own personal experience, and I could see this being replayed out on TV, and it's tough, and it's especially tough when you have to reveal something else on top of that. So it was really pretty gut-wrenching.
You really see her character change too, and you see her become this really lovely person who is very selfless and wanting to help. And you see that shift, and that's when I really loved the character more, because you just see how kind she was as a person.
Because everything up to that point had been a fantasy in her head. Oh, we're going to get married, we're going to have kids, we're going to have a fabulous life, and
it was all about her.
But then it's like,
she changes her mind. I found it more moving as it went along, this movie. I thought the last 20 minutes especially were really subtle and powerful, and I don't think it pushed it too much. I think, you know, the relationship with the family too, it ended up being a really nice thing to watch.
I was quite surprised at the casting too, with Michael Chiklis and Virginia Madsen, very strong actors, and Michael Chiklis playing the father, who's a bit like, don't you dare tell your mother this secret, it will devastate her. It was a bit interesting for him to play, because he plays like these rough and tough, like,
well, I was just going to ask you about that.
Go get him kind of characters.
Because I wasn't sure. That was the only downside for me. And overall, I thought it was a fantastic movie. But I wasn't sure if he was cast right. I wasn't sure if he was the right actor. It was
definitely a role where he expanded his repertoire a little bit too, because usually he's kicking ass and, you know, these action type roles, and it's very interesting to see him play this particular role.
I just wasn't sure if he was the right person, but maybe that was the point. Maybe the casting people did choose him deliberately, because it was unexpected, because for me he just felt like he was part of another family and not Adrian's family.
Well, I think the way that he played his character, where he was very disconnected because of what happened to him in the war, and you know, he probably had a little bit of PTSD going on that maybe is a little unexplored, and certainly can really have detriments to family environments when that stuff is not taken care of and dealt with. So I didn't mind it, actually. I didn't think he was miscast. I thought he was scary a little bit. And I think that's what maybe a lot of gay men to Phil who grew up in 1985, they probably have very similar father figures to that.
Had a great score as well. Mainly melancholic, kind of piano-led score, which I thought really fitted the film. And actually, I think it was a really important part of the movie too. I think music doesn't really get as much emphasis as it should in films. I think it's really important to have a score that makes the film come alive, and I think it did really help with that.
I would agree. I just loved all those little scenes with him and his brother at the record store, and
it was really touching, wasn't it?
Well, and him recording the little cassette for him, and it was really sweet.
I'm going to look out for more of what Cory Michael Smith is doing too, because I've never seen him in anything before. Not that I'm aware of, anyway.
He is one to watch out for. He has tons of fans off the back of Gotham, and people go crazy for him, and it was just really nice to see him in this new sort of role. I actually missed this movie at South by Southwest, so this movie's been around for a while. I think it's now just getting picked up for distribution.
A lot of bloggers are talking about it, and it was
Peccadillo. So it's definitely one to watch.
So if you want to check out the movie, there is a link below. Star rating?
I'll give it a 4.
Yeah,
it's a 4
for me as well. I'm glad that we saw eye to eye on that, because I was thinking maybe...
We usually do agree on our star ratings. We may get there for different reasons.
Unless it's a different genre. A genre that I'm not familiar with, like superhero movies. So I think I'm new to that.
Our top 10s are going to be quite interesting.
That is still to come, by the way, because we are obviously nearing Christmas. And as we did last year, we're looking back at the best movies and TV shows of the year. It has been a phenomenal year, so I think we've really got our work cut out for us on this one.
Yeah.